it's kind of sad seeing other people with their children, with their mom, with their dad, sisters, whatever it may be, whoever you've lost, and just you kind of reflected on your own life and you're like, I don't have that, and it hurts. I don't have my child with me on such a special day. Obviously after Christmas, the end of this year is approaching and the start of a new one is right around the corner, and you're kind of just like, wow, I'm walking into another year without my loved one.
What can you talk about? Like, what have you been going through during the holidays? How has your mind been, Britt?
Not good at all.
So in what way would that be? Like, you've been battling with your own self? What is it?
Yeah, just still battling with the anxiety from losing Abel. Still battling that trauma, and a year ago I thought everything would be good now. But go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I think that's how you set yourself up for disappointment. You set yourself up for, quote unquote, a deadline of being healed, when really this is a hurt that you're going to carry for the rest of your life. You're going to have to cope with it.
So what would you say to people that think, well, it's been 2 years, like you should be at a better place by now, like you might not be taking care of yourself?
What would I tell to those people who say that?
Yeah, just there, because sometimes people have
I know what you're saying.
People have a
expectation,
like there's a deadline.
Yeah, like
I even set that up myself. I thought by now I would be at a better headspace, but here I find myself still crying myself to sleep, still not knowing if I'm gonna make it another day. I still find myself in some pretty dark places. Like we are better.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
Because right now the time, it gets darker earlier, and by the time you wake up, it's just dark.
And just to tell you guys, we don't want to sound like a scratch CD. I know we talk about grief a lot.
And I know we talk about Abel a lot.
Yes, but, God has really spoke to us that we need to share our story. And it's not all gloomy here. God has been really good to us. He's been very gracious and just has blessed us with, above all, health. And that's all that matters on this earth. Health is wealth. And
yeah, and we're not sad all the time.
No. And I'd rather just be vulnerable and real with you guys instead of portraying this facade of it's all rainbows and butterflies when it's not. In this life, we will go through hard times, and we believe that God instilled in our hearts to just be open with you guys. And I know if it's at least for one person, it is for you. And
yeah,
that's all that matters. We just want to share, God's goodness through grief still.
Oh, for sure.
Because God's goodness and love still outshines it all. And it outweighs it all. But on this topic, we are going to talk about grief because I know people are going through it. And my family is still going through it. My aunt passed away last week. And it brought up a lot of triggers in my life, from the trauma of Abel. And I know my cousins, my uncle, they are going through a hard time right now. So I do ask you for prayers for them. And, even if it's at least for them, if they happen to watch this video, we just want you to know if you're going through grief that you are not alone. And it's totally normal what you are feeling. Because some days I literally felt like I was just going to lose my mind. And I felt alone in what I was feeling. I know Alfredo feels what I feel. But outside of that, we truly felt like we were the only ones going through grief. So we are here for you guys. And we just want to share our story And for some reason, grief always feels heavier during the holidays or just any special event type of thing.
And why do you think it feels heavier? What do you think that reason is?
Well, since we're talking about Christmas, that's a day where we're just surrounded by family. We get to share that special day surrounded with our loved ones and quote unquote giving each other either physical gifts or just, whatever it may be. But, it's kind of sad seeing other people with their children, with their mom, with their dad, sisters, whatever it may be, whoever you've lost, and just you kind of reflected on your own life and you're like, I don't have that and it hurts. I don't have my child with me on such a special day, because it is special. We celebrate the birth of Jesus, and obviously that's the reason for the season. And
we should be with our families and we should all be together, so that's why it makes it harder. And also the time, it gets darker faster. So it's definitely strange.
It's hard, especially obviously after Christmas, the end of this year is approaching and the start of a new one is right around the corner, and you're kind of just like, wow, I'm walking into another year without my loved one. And it kind of just settles in, and I'm like, man, they're really not here. And that starts to kick in because you're kind of still in the shock of, oh, okay, you still kind of haven't really processed that they're not here.
Right.
But, as another year approaches, and I'm like, man, we were just here yesterday. It was just going to be 2021 just yesterday. And how did this year fly by without my loved one? How did I manage to get through this year? And how am I going to manage to get through another year?
I want to ask you, what have you learned from 2021? What year are we in? 2020?
Yeah, 21. Yeah, we're in 2021.
Wait. I thought we were in 2020. Wait, are you serious?
Yes, we're in 2021.
Okay, anyways. I'm gonna delete that part. I wanted to ask you, from 2020 and this year, what is something that you're gonna do different during the holidays and grief? What are some things that you learned from last year to do different?
It's weird because last year I feel like I was in a much better headspace than this year, and I'm trying to figure out why. I think last year I was, to be honest, just kind of avoiding my feelings. And we had barely moved into this house, right? Yeah. And so we were just kind of still feeling the joys. We're in a new space. We have family over. We had family over every weekend. So it was
kind of difficult to really process.
Right. And I feel like we didn't want to, because we wanted to stay in this happy-go-lucky state of mind,
which we needed.
Yeah, which is nothing bad, but I feel like it really is now. Like, I'm starting to come face to face with the full-on grief of Abel not being here. Like last year we had lots of distractions. So yeah, I think we just had a lot of distractions, but one thing I learned is to just, Brit, it's okay to sit with your feelings. It's okay to be sad one day. It's okay just to not do nothing the whole day. It's okay, literally, it's okay not to be okay. Because I feel like I put a lot of pressure on myself last year of, I need to be happy. Like, I just need to smile. I need to be smiling all the time. I need to show my family that I'm okay.
So is that what you would say you would do different, or you've learned from last year to do different?
I feel like I'm still learning to be transparent with my family that, I'm not okay. And that I will never be over Abel. But just letting them know, like this year, I opened up to them about my anxiety. Barely, maybe like a couple months ago. And they didn't know how I was feeling. So they were like, you know.
How you were really, really feeling.
Yeah, because all they saw me is smiling, laughing all the time, you know. And then that was a hard conversation because.
What got you to open up to them?
Well, I think you pushed me a lot.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you knew my struggles because, you know, you see me every day.
Well, one thing that I want to say is when her mom would call her, you know, she had just got done crying. She would call her and ask her how she was doing, and she would say that she was fine. So I'd say, why would, you know.
Yeah.
She's literally asking you how you're doing.
Yeah. I guess I had just grown accustomed to saying, oh, bien, I'm okay.
Yeah, because,
you know.
Another thing I will say that the older generation, Hispanics, I don't know any other cultures, but in Hispanic culture, we suppress a lot.
Yeah.
And the older generation is like, anxiety's not real.
Yeah, depression's not real. You just gotta shake it off.
That's from the devil.
Yeah.
You need prayer.
Or you need to shake it off.
Yeah.
You need to do something. Well, but
yeah.
I guess that's what I was afraid of. I mean, I don't know if afraid, but I was more shy to tell my mom. Like, my dad still doesn't know I struggle with anxiety. My siblings know. I came, you know, especially my sister. She's been a huge help. But I was like, hey, I feel I'm struggling with anxiety really bad.
Yeah.
And they've been supportive, of course.
Basically, that's what you've learned to process. That's how you've learned to process now.
Right.
Or how you're getting through this year of grief.
Yeah.
Even though it feels harder this year.
It does.
Because you feel further from able. So it's normal to feel like it's harder.
Wow.
Because last year you felt closer. It just happened. One thing I was doing a lot was running. I was running away from everything. I wasn't facing things that I needed to. And so this year I'm running, instead of running away from it, I'm running towards it and trying to just get through every emotion that I have. And to be okay that I am very sensitive. I'm a sensitive person. I feel everything. I can walk in a room and I feel everybody's energy and it overwhelms me, but I'm learning about myself that that's okay.
Wow.
It's okay to just be emotional sometimes. And I say, you know.
And for men especially.
Yeah.
You know.
It's interesting for me because I have a lot of pride, so I don't do therapy, which shout out to Brithzy for going back to therapy because that's a big deal because it took her a while to get back into that.
One thing that I'll say it after you.
I was gonna say before I forget that I'm a very prideful person when it comes to therapy. I'm gonna be real. I just feel like it's like, do these people really care about me? Because they're just getting paid for it. But that's how I think. But I'm trying not to think that way. I'm just being honest. That's just how I feel. But they're genuinely there. That's why they went to school for this. Yeah. They took their time in this. So shout out to that. But it's just sometimes man can be prideful and they think they could do this on their own, but you really can't. So I'm trying, but I'm just being honest.
That's real. I applaud you for that. But as far as grieving during the holidays, I will tell you, allow yourself to just feel. It's okay if you're not in the Christmas spirit, you know?
Christmas
spirit. It's okay if you don't feel like going out. And I will tell you, it's okay if you feel like you're not coping. It's okay if you feel like you didn't win the mental battle that you went through today. It's okay if you don't want to spend time with family on Christmas. And it's okay if you just want to have some time for yourself. And it's okay if it's been 5, 10, 20, 30 years after you lost your loved one and you're still honoring them. And it's okay if you do feel better and if you are coping and if you are happy. it's okay.
We just felt led to having a conversation about just these times, because it is easy to get distracted, and sometimes our loved ones, the people close to us, the people that love us, it's easy to not consider you.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't blame them.
Yeah.
They're in their world, and it's just hard sometimes seeing families with children, and it can get heavy, but we are at peace knowing that our time is going to come.
Mm-hmm.
Even when it doesn't feel like it, even when it feels like impossible. Like, I don't know if it's going to keep getting, is this going to get worse? Am I going to get better? What does tomorrow look like? But we're not meant to worry about tomorrow. God wants us in the now. And we just want to let you know that you're seen, and everyone that's lost a loved one, you're not alone. I know it feels like it. And I know maybe this video, you'll probably forget about it later, but just know that you're not alone. If you ever need to talk to somebody, we're here. And I don't know if you have anything to say.
I think you said everything. Yeah, just God sees you in your grief. He really does.
And I know that sounds super easy and cliche.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that doesn't even make sense when someone says that to you. Trust me, even when you think you're at your most loneliness, you're not. Because I felt that. I felt that before, where it just feels super dark. But here I am. We made it another day. God's been good. And we're happy in our marriage. That's the end of today's video. We'll see you guys, and we love y'all. And also, beanies. They're almost sold out. Hit the link. Able Store. Go get one. Thank y'all for your support. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Bye, guys. We love y'all.